This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 10. It says, "Then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahushai is who the world inwardly calls Jesus the Christ. The Rakakodash is the Holy Spirit in the Paleo Hebrew. And I want to give double honors to the elders, apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Lord, willing that they continue to endure and be sincere. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit, teaching this word and believing this word, right? That they endure and be sincere. And shalom to the Akwatiyam that are believers of the faith. Lord, willing that they continue to pursue their lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord, willing to most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith, right? This video is inspired by some post that my brother, Asher posted in, our group chat about some comments on a video. And I guess these two gentlemen was talking about it will be pure anarchy, right? And I'm going to read the 3 pages of this comment, and first, before I read it, I'm going to read about anarchy, right? And it goes into, it is a form of society without rulers. As a type of stateless society, it is commonly contrasted with states, which are centralized politics or policies that claim a monopoly on violence over a permanent territory, right? And then another simple definition of anarchy is absent of government, a state of lawlessness or political disorder due to the absence of governmental authority. Now, I'm going to get a side precept. I'm going to read the precepts on the side on my other phone, but I just want to get this one verse. I believe it's going to say it in the G&T. Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. And I believe down at the bottom, yes. I'm going to read verse 23, right? It says, "Great windstorms will blow them away like straw. Lawlessness will be the ruin of the whole world. Evil actions will cause governments to fall," right? And I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to go and look up this word for lawlessness, right? Lawlessness is a state of disorder due to a disregard of the law, right? Now, if I go to homology.com, we can get a little more in depth with it. And lawlessness, a violation of divine law. Lawlessness goes into without law, right? Just going into no government officials, no rulers. Lawlessness is uncontrolled by law of any kind, or, not controlled by law of any kind, right? Being able to do illegal things, right? So again, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 23 in the G&T, "Great windstorms will blow them away like straw. Lawlessness will be the ruin of the whole world. Evil actions will cause governments to fall," right? And a lot of people might not see the MOTB. You really don't have faith, Even you teachers, you probably want to be the first one to have something. You want to have something that sounds better than somebody else. But again, it's going to be false prophets. You're going to have some that might not be the prophets that the Rakak Wadash have given them 100% truth, right? Because it's definitely levels in this. It's definitely levels in this truth, in this ministry. Everybody is not in a high position when it comes, not even saying like first, second, or third, but when it comes to teaching this word, it's certain levels to it. Like just like how the apostles of old, they were set up last, but they were walking with Yahushua, right? But it's in the same spirit. 1 Corinthians chapter 12. They come in the same spirit as the evangelists, the prophets, the teachers, the bishops, right? But it's different classes, different parts of the body, But the whole point is teaching Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So we're going to get into the comment section. And Lord willing, I'll bring out some other precepts. But if not, the whole point is to pay attention to knowing the world that you see, especially in America. America hasn't been touched, where people or nations is invading this place. America hasn't been touched like that, so it's going to be a time where America is going to be touched, right? Especially when Jacob trouble come, it's going to be every person for themselves, right? So if you are somebody that's been on my channel, you see me do a video on Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, verse 19, where your neighbor will spoil your goods. And it's multiple different variety of goods, but the point I was going into in that video was a wife, a woman. She's considered a good. And when you go into if she's a wife is a possession. And when you go look up the etymology for a possession is a good, right? So a woman is a possession, and she is a good, and she'll be spoiled, and that could go into that woman being ravished, right? So Lord willing, we are of that number where the Lord will provide a way for us to be covered and hid. But we're going to go through things too, because we have to get tried on the side in order to be the elect. Tribulation, work of patience, long suffering, getteth you the kingdom, But let's get into it. Now, I just got the screenshots of the comment that the person put, So I'm going to just read it. It says, I've had this conversation with several people in midst are truly clueless about how bad things will get and how short of a period it will take for people to get desperate and start doing horrible things to each other, right? And I just quoted one thing where women will get ravished, right? Because you got to think if another man that got that left-handed side mindset and don't see a man or somebody protecting you, you're going to get taken. Go watch the movie The Road, right? Go watch the movie The Book of Eli, right? Certain movies that deal with what's that one TV show? I forgot what it's called. Fallout. Well, women is a weaker vessel, but let alone women have to know you have titties, you have sex properties on that body. So if you don't got a man covering you, being your hedge, most likely you're going to get taken. And if you're not of the elect, of a daughter of Zion, you're not going to be covered, So again, right here it says, a contractor buddy of mine was in Haiti after the earthquake doing a protection detail for medical personnel. The people at night behaved like monsters, desperately searching for good and water and taking it however they had to. He saw some fool in an NGO supply truck or something ended up lost and had people trying to jump in his truck and get him to stop. Somebody managed to get a hold of what was left of a shrink-wrapped pallet of water, dragged it off the truck. It was just a bunch of shrink-wrapped with 3 gallons of water hung up in it. The truck kept going, and the people came out of the shadows from all directions and swarmed that guy in his shrink wrap with gallons of water. They beat the guy unconscious within seconds. He said one bottle disappeared really quick. Then there were 2 gallons. 2 guys got them and tried to run in different directions. They were both talked beaten. Likely to death. They probably messed up the word right there. So they're probably saying they were both beaten to death. Likely to death. The 2 other guys grabbed the water. One he thinks got away. The other guy ran. Where's that? Okay, the other guy ran. We're right here. The other guy ran about 10 yards. It ran into a guy with a machete. He tried to keep running as the guy hacked him in the forehead, with then the thigh and the back, all over. He picked up the water and met another guy with a machete. They hacked each other up, and somebody else grabbed the water. By the time it was over, I think he says 6 people were laying dead in the street over 3 gallons of water. My buddy said that was the worst contract he'd ever been on. He sit there at night on the perimeter they had fenced off on their compound, stopping the crazy people from coming through the fence. And he have to listen in hours every night, hearing people screaming in pain and others screaming like hungry predators. People being killed, women being raped in the shadows. Did I not just say that? Right? Let me just get a quick precept real quick. Quick precept. Like predators, it said women being raped in the shadows, right? And I want to get 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, just so you can hear that. And there's other verses too, right? This is 2nd Esdras 15, verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and of great tribulation, right? Because somebody could be hungry and thirsty. And guess what? They might not be able to get that water or that food, but they see a woman and she might not have a hedge. She most likely gonna get touched, right? And that's to put fear in women just in general, but really to put fear in a woman that's not in this faith. I don't care if you Muslim, if you think you Muslim. I'm talking to the Israelite woman. I don't care if you atheist and you don't believe there's a God. I don't care if you in Christianity, you in Buddhism, right? It's another precept on the side before I continue reading. This is 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. It says, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first began at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? Right? Judgment has happened at the 12 tribes of Israel first, right? So women that are Israelites, regardless if you accept it or not, man, be prepared, right? But if you're pursuing, your crown, if you're pursuing to get delivered, scarcely saved, continue in your faith, continue in that walk, right? It says the woman being raped in the shadows, or sometimes in the middle of the street. See, they'll do it in the shadow or they'll do it right in the street. People not going to have no care. It says he said it was like the end of the world, and he couldn't get out of there fast enough. And this guy had been to some pretty gnarly places during disasters, famines, outbreaks, refugee camps, and such, mostly on contracts protecting the Doctors Without Borders. I think he says 6 people were laying in the street. Hold on. So when we getting raped, yeah. So this comment is still extra. So where is it? So man, he said it was like the end of the world. He couldn't get out of there fast enough. And this guy had been to some pretty gnarly places during disasters, famine outbreaks, refugee camps, and such, mostly on contracts protecting the Doctors Without Borders, people, and others similar to them. I hate to imagine how bad it could be in some of our more densely populated areas, especially. But everywhere really, Americans are spoiled as hell and not used to doing without anything. Probably meant to say not used to going without anything. Imagine everyone going without everything for any period of time, right? Imagine electricity. Imagine the power getting cut off and people not used to going without their phone. You know, you've seen what happened when people was fighting each other over tissue. Imagine when the refrigerator not working. Imagine when you can't get gas and you just bought a freaking charger. You know, imagine when the money is obsolete, right? And you can't even use it no more. It's invalid. You know, and then the money in your bank account is at zero. Imagine that, you know. What about you women that gotta wear that wear makeup, eyelashes, wigs and weaves, right? You're gonna have to go days and periods wearing your natural hair, not getting it braided and done, looking over your shoulder. You might not be able to eat that cuisine meal that you was eating. Now, a lot of you fools that's eating pork, lobster, crab, and shrimp, you're gonna be down bad, especially for some food, you know. Now I'm about to go to a verse, a precept of history. Um, I'm gonna get a. Let me see if it's gonna give it to me. I'm gonna go. Let me see if this is it. Let me see if this is what I want. 2 Kings chapter 6, going down to. Let me make sure this is it. This is 2 Kings chapter 6, starting at 24. It says, "And it came to pass after this that Ben-Hadad, king of Assyria, gathered all his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of doves hung for 5 pieces of silver. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor, or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she had hid her son. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. Right? Did you hear that? These women ate the one woman's child. Then the next day, she got up and started asking, Yo, where get your son so we can eat him. Right? Let me see something. Let's go to this one. Let's go into this prophet Jeremiah. Let me go up a few verses just to make sure it's not taking us somewhere else. Okay. I'm going to start at verse 7. This is Jeremiah 19, verse 7. It says, I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place, and I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies, and by the hands of them that seek their lives. In their carcass will I give to be meat for the fowls of the heaven, and for the beasts of the earth. And I will make this city desolate and hissing. Everyone that passeth thereby shall be astonished and hiss because of all the plagues thereof. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters. And they shall eat everyone the flesh of his friends, and the siege and straightness, wherewith their enemies and they that seek their lives shall straighten them. Right? You got to imagine that view, seeing, the children of Israel, whoever it can be, over there smacking, eating they damn kids. Right? There's another one. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if this is the one. Because I'm thinking I could be wrong. I think it was a king. I thought it was a king. But it's a lot of times where, in certain places it was a famine, So you got to imagine if America is spoiled, Americans are spoiled. If we just talk about food just alone, right? Let's go back to 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. Read something over there. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse, I'll start at 17. It says, woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days? In the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? That's a question. All of those were questions. And this is why right now you have this grace period, you have this mercy period, where you're supposed to be increasing in faith. So when this time come, you're going to be one of them children singing and calling on the Lord, right? Because even the elect on their side, when that time come, they're going to be rejoicing while everybody in agony, because the Lord blessed them with food, right? Blessed them with shelter where they're covered, right? Verse 19, it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Right? Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Right? All these things really take steps, right? Before the MOTB or during the MOTB, they're going to try to hit people with cheap prices of food. And people, if they're not building themselves, or better words, like a lesson I did at work, preparing themselves for a particular end, this is going to come unexpectedly. And they're going to be, oh man, this and this and that. And you know what it all goes to? You should have been listening to the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, right? The men that the Lord got on the highways and byways and doing videos on YouTube and bringing out these scriptures for the children of Israel, the black, Latinos, and natives. And Latinos can go for Hispanic too. Like what I'm doing, what other brothers is doing, you know, the elder apostles of Great Millstone on down, the other men that could probably be sincere and might have a change of mind, but that's actually teaching, right? Those are the men that you were supposed to be listening to, you know? The Lord always brought prophets to tell us and warn us. This is all a warning, you know? Just seeing somebody comment these things, but the one thing that stick out is Americans are spoiled as hell and not used to going without anything. Imagine everyone going without everything for any period of time. People that's in America don't know what that is, especially you women. You know, if the women on this side had to fight for their rights like women did of old, a lot of y'all women would quit. Most women is trying to fight for their rights by nudity and sex. You're just a nut, you know? The Lord lowered the men, and on the left-hand side, women increased in somewhat of a power, having dominion over men, you know? But that's all the elite's agenda, because if the woman is out of order and the man is not seeking their power, a man's house will be overthrown. That's Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 27:3, you know? But now through the Spirit, the men of the Lord are speaking the breath of life, you know, that ever-living water. You know, we're turning the algorithm in the Spirit on the left-hand side upside down because of the truth. You know, it was a falling away, but the Lord is allowing this truth to come back out, right? Let me get this. This is 2 Thessalonians. The KJV, it is going to hit in the KJV. But before I even did this, I was overviewing. I was viewing these precepts this precept I'm about to read. Okay, that's right there. I mean, I'm trying to get this verse, get what I had. Where was I? No, we wasn't there. Where was I? Okay. Okay. I'm going to read 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 in the NLT verse 1-8, right? You can read in the KJV. I just want it clear for the ones that might be at the edge of their seat, right? Because all these things must take place for the coming of Yahushua, right? In verse 3, it talks about, I'll read the KJV and the NLT, right? Because I want you to hear it had to be a falling away. And then the Lord he put the breath of life, you know, really the Rakak Wadash within the true believers. Now they're growing in the faith. And now the Lord got the men of the Lord standing on their feet and they're teaching his word, right? And through the Spirit, the men of the Lord that are teaching are revealing the son of perdition. But even the son of perdition is revealing themselves with their devices. That's why you can't be ignorant by the elite's devices. Let me say it better. You cannot be blind by Esau's devices, which Esau is the so-called white man and woman, right? So this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 in verse 1 in the KJV. It says, "Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letting as from us, as that the day of Hamashiach is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away, right? So the Son of Man, Yahushua, is not coming until a falling away. So when Yahushua died, the apostles, the prophets, so on and so on, right, in a huge falling away of this understanding was removed out of us, our names, then the transatlantic slave, we were in a dead estate, because that was supposed to usher in the great awakening, right, which is the children of Israel slowly coming back to know who they is. Baruch chapter 2, verse 30, in the land of their captivity, they shall remember who they are. And America is the only place in the land as a bulk, as the nation of Israel, where we didn't know who we were. Now we're rising and standing on our feet. So again, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That man of sin is Esau. It's three type of people, right, on the earth. Is the sons of God, which is really the children of Israel, the sons of men, which are the other nations that you see on the nation table in Genesis, the 10th chapter, and then the sons of the wicked, which is Esau, right? And I'll get a precept for that. They're the what is it? The third part of man, right? Because when you look at the statue of Daniel, Esau is the third part of the statue, which goes into the Greek captivity, and then his rulership continues again when it comes through Rome, and then Rome got wounded, and then they did the rebirth, and now we're in Rome 2.0, because to fulfill prophecy, Esau is the end of the world, so he will have to rule in the time of Yahushua. And if Yahushua, which he is through the spirit, Isaac blessed both of his sons. And Jacob's blessing comes when Esau's kingdom is destroyed, because he has the dew of the heavens, right? He's abundant on this side, technology, everything on the left-hand side. Look at the animals. He has everything under his hand. Just because you see other nations sitting at the table, that just backs up Psalms 83, right? So this is Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh have indignation forever, right? And when you go into the perdition, that goes into destruction, it goes into destruction. And if he is wickedness, I'm looking up something. Okay, if he is the border of wickedness, right, you have to know that he is the man of sin. He has to be revealed. We already know who Ishmael is. Ishmael is connected with it. They got the Muslim thing, but through how you would know who Esau is, all captivities he reflect himself from, like the Assyrian captivity, the Nineveh, the Babylon. Of course, when it comes to Greek, the Hellenization, following one system, which the New World Order is going to be one system when they start pushing that MOTB, right? Rome, but it goes with Greek too. But Rome, when they did the Senate, that's in the Maccabees, right? Rome has senates. What do America? They got senates. When you go into the word president, it goes into like general or commander, right? So you got to think of the old rulers back then, right? Emperors, right? Where commanders or generals, those even stem from emperors, right? They just upgraded and changed the name, but he has to be revealed through his devices, through his miracles, which in this side from Esau's past, he upgraded. And the Lord blessed him with technology on this side, right? So again, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 in the KJV, Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. I'm going to pause right there because some people still want to use the Arabs. Oh, that's Esau. We're going to get very plain, and you have to sit there, stop being stubborn and brutish, which is stupid. There's only one nation that fully did it successfully, right? Other nations was creating their own nationality and their own thoughts as a god. Esau is the main one out of all nations that go through the earth, like in the book of Job. The devil go to and fro. Devil means deceiver. He goes to and fro seeking who he may conquer. He went to and fro pushing that dollar. To and fro after Pope Alexander, when his son died. Later on, when Rome was getting established through the time of the 1400s all the way between 1776, when America actually got established. In between that time, they were pushing that Caesar Borgia picture saying it was Jesus, you know? So when you read the 4th verse, that makes it clear who made an image of Yahushai, who the world calls Jesus. Not the Chinese man, not the African booty scratchers, not all these other nations. It was Esau that portrayed himself to be Yahushai. It was him that portrayed himself as the judges in the scriptures. When we go to 1 Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, verse 48, the heathen sought the images that was in the law. Who was in the law? The 12 tribes of Israel. You can go into 2nd Esdras, the 14th chapter, and see the heathen burnt our laws. They was even saying that in the Greek captivity, it was prohibited. They didn't even want us to read the law and follow our laws. As soon as they make your mind go like Putin, like Bill Cosby, they'll be able to manipulate you, because now you're going to fall in sin. That's Judith, the 5th chapter, verse 17 down to 21 or 24. They'll make you fall into sin. It is easy to overpower the nation of Israel when they're in sin. And I'm quoting these verses. You could go look them up yourself, right? And then go look up history where that Jesus picture started after Caesar Borgia died. Then they put that damn Jesus picture in Mother Mary and the Son everywhere. Now, for anybody that could be watching this, you gotta, before you start running your mouth and, oh, it's the Arabs, is this? Why is it Esau in the high position places like the Vatican? You got Putin that say that the Savior or the Messiah, the Hamashiach, is a black man. He said that they prayed to a black Savior. The Vatican got images in the basement. Guess what? We could go into the Greek captivity, the Rome captivity, because after 70 AD, Rome took our vessels, just like they did in Babylon. They took the menorah. Secret images that we had, because why you don't see them in museums? Images of us. Why when you go to Egypt, they cut off the nose of the Egyptians? And most of those Egyptians were real Egyptians, but they were black, so they tried to make you think that Egyptians was white. They got people in certain TV shows or history saying that Egyptians started off white. That's incorrect. Even in the time of Nimrod, it was black in Babylon. It was black until Cain got cursed. It was black after he died. And then Esau came in and then his descendants, the dukes. All nations after Rome knew their name. Babylon and Timbuktu, I got that in the house. If you got Babylon and Timbuktu, I think page 24, you can see that all the ancient nations, they went by nations and tribal names. So all the way from Rome all the way back, they knew who they was. After Rome, there was the big deception, because what we just read, it was a falling away I'm expounding on it because I know some people try to argue the case that Arabs is Esau, or why is you saying the so-called white men and all of this, and even more. This right here, and then I'm gonna continue reading. What nation or what person out of whatever nation made the first nuke? It was a white man. Oppenheimer or Omenheimer. I'm probably saying the name wrong, right? But we could say Germans made the nuke. Those was Edomites, man. Right? So again, when you see verse 3, it says, who exalt himself above all that is called God and that is worship. Don't we worship the Son and the Heavenly Father? When you go to certain churches, who do they have on the cross? What do we look like? With stringy long hair. And they'll even paint them white. Then you'll go on. You can go on the internet and go look up these pictures. You know. As a sidebar, let's see if they'll. Because I'm quoting it, I might as well just go to something that we can pop out and show niggas. That's what Kendrick said. So the image of the beast, right? They trying to use back then in the time of the Renaissance, the rebirth of Rome. This is the image they would use. In this time, the image is just going back into Rome, right? The image is going into the philosophy of Rome, right? Because in a minute, if you go to Amos the 8th chapter, I believe the 9th verse, is going to be a famine of the word. How are they going to use the Caesar Borgia picture if it's going to be a famine of the word that already been used to deceive us? We're waking up now. They're not going to use that to deceive the masses now when they're trying to implement an MOTB, right? But this is up for us to see. Iconoclast, which is a person who destroys religious images or oppose their veneration, right? And I quoted 1 Maccabees chapter 3 verse 48, Job chapter 9 verse 24. Go read them, right? You can even go to Job chapter 13 verse 4. You know, forgers of lies. This is a forger of lies, right? Statue really in Brazil. That was demanded to go over there. Leonardo da Vinci is a TV show you can go watch, the Borgia family. And back then, you know, because a lot of nations was doing it, right? But you had the ones, the Italians, these Idumeans that was grown into power over there. They would pay these top painters to draw them, right? So whitewash. A white liquid that is a mixture of lime or powdered chalk and water used to making walls or making ceilings white. Caesar Borgia development false image of Hamashiach. It says, under the power of the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, Pope Alexander VI, which is Caesar Borgia's father, decided that he would have his son Caesar Borgia used as the model for Yahushai, right? Because there was no J's until the 1500s. Before that, you know, all the Hebrew Israelites were speaking Hebrew. Other nations knew about Hebrew. They knew about the Assyrian Hebrew. They knew about the Latin. They knew about the Greek, because Greek was one of the most popular languages during the time of the Greek captivity, right? So what was Yahweh's name on the earth? It was Yahweh. It was not Jesus, right? The Jesus stems from the Latin word, but Jesus means earth pig. So that can't really be the Heavenly Father's son's name if it means earth pig or earth dirt. The Heavenly Father and his son in Hebrew, that's the best thing about Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, words have meanings. So Yahweh's name means he saves or redeems, which is in scriptures. Right? So the model for Yahushai in painting that Da Vinci was commissioned to do These paintings emerged between 1502 to 1503. That's plain and simple, right there in your face. Right there in our face, man. Right? It's even telling you this is a false image. Look, they got the verses in the Apocrypha. On this picture, you got the Apocrypha right there. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 18 to 21. And that goes into Pope Alexander and Caesar Borgia, man. That's beautiful. You know? This is the show. This the show right here. The Borgia family, right? But I just had to show you a lineup to that verse in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Right? So 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. Right? Right? So who's going to be revealed in his time? The man of sin, which is Esau. You got people that saying they Israelites, and they're saying he's the Arabs. The biggest reveal is Yahushai, right? Of course. And before even Yahushai come, right? Because even in this time, it's going to be Esau, man. It's going to be a big revealing of who is Esau, who is the man of sin, right? Salaki. Verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Right? This man of sin got to be taken out the way, because that goes back into prophecy. Revelations, the 12th chapter, the 13th chapter, the 14th chapter, 15, no, but you skip that. But in between those chapters, the 17th chapter, the 18th chapter, right? Even down to the 19th chapter. Then you go back to the Old Testament. You read in Daniel 2 about the statue. You go to Daniel the 7th chapter. You go even to 2nd Esdras, the 11 and 12, which gives you a further more depth into the Roman captivity. The 13th chapter, the 14th chapter, right? But even go to 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter, because what's going to be the end of this time? Esau is the end of this time. You had the ruler of Israel, Yahoo. I'm calling him Yamaha. Y'all would know who the ruler is. Yuhu, or whatever you call his name. He said Amalek is still on the earth. He's not done away with. You know? And people want to say Esau or the old nations is done, but Ecclesiastes 4:16 tell you ain't no end to the people. You know, before this time, the time before, all those nations is back on the earth. We go to Revelations, I believe the 1st chapter, where it tells you the same ones that pierce him, they're going to see him too. Make that make sense. That even proves reincarnation is real too. You know, but we're not getting into the reincarnation part, right? So he's going to be taken out the way. Verse 8, it says, then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh Shai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Right? When you go in the NLT, it says, then the man of lawlessness, right? Because Esau don't follow the law of Yahweh Shai. They got the biggest LGB parade in Israel. I can't even say nothing about the Sweet Tooth Bandits. I can't even say nothing about the small hats on the YouTube page. You know? They're the lawless people, lawlessness, right? So then the man of lawlessness will be revealed, but the Lord Yahushai will kill him with the breath of his mouth and destroy him by the splendor of his coming, right? When you go to the three holy children, the prayer of Azariah, it tells you that in verse 9, the Lord have given us to lawless people. All these nations is lawless, but who's the top guy? The nation of Esau, man. They were programmed to be against us. because of Jacob and Esau. This is a very deep story. This is not no kid story. This is very serious, man. That's why it's beautiful that, getting this about America not being touched, about a man seeing, because in the overseas, it's shit going on over there. America needs to get put down, Salaki. The damn dust at work, man. I work with a lot of dust. Salaki, family. Salaki. Right? Let me read verse 3 and 4 in the NLT. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 and 4 in the NLT. It says, "Don't be fooled by what they say, for that day will not come until there is a great rebellion against God, and the man of lawlessness is revealed." Right? The rebellion is going to start with Israel. Us turning our back against the Lord, like in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 32, verse 33. We turn the back and not the face. And then it says, "And the man of lawlessness be revealed." We're in a time of him being revealed because the Lord is waking us up. And now we're getting into scriptures. When you go to Revelations 11:11, we're standing on our feet and the nations are falling in fear, starting with the elites, right? It says, "The one who brings destruction, he will exalt himself and defy everything that people call God," right? And who do we call God? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, right? Yahushai is a so-called black man, right? They're gonna really profane, the image of the Lord, even his name, right? And every object of worship, he will even sit in the temple of God claiming that he is God. That's why he put his images in these Catholic churches, this church and that church, The best thing that these wicked rulers can do is act like they didn't do nothing. And that's all the Lord, right? Let me show you. Let me get a precept to show you is all the Lord, right? First, let me get this one because I quoted it early too. It says, this is Job 9:24. It says, "The earth is given to the hand of the wicked," right? All these nations is, but who is the border of wickedness? Esau. So the earth is given to him because he has to fulfill his purpose that the Lord already bestowed, right? Which he's supposed to have the dues of the earth, right? The dues of the heaven on this side. He's supposed to be ruler when Yahweh shall come back. It says he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? That's a question. Show me what other nation has did that and pushed that everywhere. Only Esau did that, especially at the level he did. Nebuchadnezzar did not make no image because he wasn't even around the time of Yahushai. Who was around in the time of Yahushai? Rome, Idumeans, Edomites. That right there is a closed casket. Arabs was there too. But who made the image? We just showed you. Edomites. Caesar Borgia and Pope Alexander are Italian, straight Italian. Full-blown Edomites, man. Full-blown Edomites. They changed the image of the heaven, the Most High Son, and put them everywhere, man. Four corners of the earth to deceive the masses. That's what devil mean, to deceive. They're the biggest deceiver on the earth. Esau had three big empires: the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, and then this American Empire that's just a reflection of Rome with the NATO and EU, just more advanced when you add on the technology, right? When you go to Proverbs 21, verse 1, where it says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth whithersoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own," right? Because we're in this flesh. Unless you have the Rakakwadash on the right-hand side, you'll know, you know, you'll know that the Lord is moving you for this. But they're moved on the left-hand side, and they're still following the purpose that the Lord put them, they're following the way that the Lord programmed to do, right? To be the wicked of the earth, you know? Even when that money, the way the money system is, which I'm seeing in mad videos, if we knew the real breakdown of the money system, a lot of us will rebel against this kingdom. But a lot of us don't have the breath of life. A lot of us don't have the Rakakwadash within us. That's why that won't happen. Only ones that's being rebels in the spirit is the elect, teaching this word, following the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, growing in faith, being diligent for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's causing friction on this side, you know? I'm trying to look for this other one. I'm thinking of another one in my head. It might be in Psalms. Hey, hold on. Is this the one I want? This is Proverbs chapter 16 in verse 4. It says, the Lord Yahweh have made all things for himself. Yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil, right? The Lord set them up for the okie doke so that what we read in 2 Thessalonians, so when he's revealed, Yahushua is coming. It is going to be through his wicked devices, this MOTB, right? Look at what Bill Gates is doing. He fake saying that they're saying that he's the top guy that tests hurricanes, and then that damn thing happened in Florida. Now they're saying on the news that people that was living in the area where those hurricanes and stuff came, that they can't go back. They got to find a new home somewhere else because they're making 15-minute cities. Go look it up, you know. Like my teacher always say, go look it up. Anything brothers say, go write it down, go look it up. Go get your face value. Faith is supposed to move you, you know, because you want to be aware. Yahweh coming like a thief in the night. The wicked is not coming like a thief in the night because they were already set up to gain power and fall from their power seat. The Lord is doing like the same thing in Genesis 6. The wickedness, the wickedness raised up to the heavens. Everything that these wicked rulers, starting with Esau and the other nations, right, that had a hand in our spoil, their wickedness is raising up to the heavens. You know, here the Yahweh Shem Shai is allowing the wicked to max out. You know, right now everybody, you in your car, you get to go here and do that. You feel good. That's why I like the last comment, man. Americans are spoiled as hell. They're not used to going without anything. We cut all power. If the elites cut out all power and then turn it back on and make this new system, a lot of y'all gonna be pissed off, and now you're gonna have to make the decision because the hour of temptation, only the elect is gonna overcome it. If you don't overcome the hour of temptation and you find yourself taking the charagma, or the hour of temptation, say if you don't take it and you still don't believe in the Lord, you still going against the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you're going to be dead, man. And a lot of people, y'all really don't believe in it. Jacob trouble is going to happen, right? Jeremiah 30:7, man. The worst is yet to come. You know, the worst is yet to come. I'm going to get one more, and then I'm going to let you guys go, man. I ain't going to hold y'all up. Right? Isaiah, the 19th chapter. which is a beautiful chapter. I'm going to just read a few verses from the top. This is Isaiah chapter 19 in the KJV, verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, right? Who is the modern day pharaohs, right? It's Esau. Because when the Egyptians was ruling back then, they was that was the head kingdom at that time. You wasn't hearing about no other kingdom when Israel was in the hands of the Egyptians. Every mad nations was going to Egypt when the famine came. So who is the modern day Egyptians, right? Sometimes you got to know these scriptures is going a twofold. Sometimes it can be a threefold. It can be a fourfold, right? And scriptures is most likely dealing with modern time, just like how it's dealing in ancient times. Ecclesiastes 3:15 in the NLT. What happened already is happening again. You know? So it's Egyptians, a nation against a nation. That's Matthew 24, verse 16. Right? I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Right? This is gonna go into that anarchy, or we could call it purge if we want to say, right? But without the rules, right? Because that's anarchy is. Lord willing, I'm pronouncing it right. You know, the slip of my tongue, right? This is going to be a place where you want that spiritual seatbelt. You know, it said, verse 3, it says, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, into the chambers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, the Lord Yahweh Shemashai of hosts. Right? That fierce king is going into Yahushai. All you nations, starting with Esau, y'all gonna be given to a fierce king, man. Right? But a solid king. Right? Let's go. I said I was gonna end with that, but I'm going into let's see if my phone, okay. What do I want? Do I want this chapter right here? I think I want this chapter right here. Isaiah the 13th chapter. I love getting excited talking about the end of this captivity, man. Yeah, this one most likely going into like the destruction, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'll read this, right? This is Isaiah chapter 13, starting at verse 9. It says, behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh. This is the KJV, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, talking about America, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it, right? Because the face of this world at this time is America. When you look at an empire, you look at where is the empire at? Where is the power at? And America is the face value of this power. Even though the higher elites is all the way in Europe, America is the bully of the earth, right? And this is the place that's going to be desolate. Israel going to be destroyed, but America is going to be totally wiped, right? And this is the place where it's called spiritual Sodom in Egypt. This is the place of bondage. This is the place where all the 12 tribes are here as a whole, right? All the 12 tribes are scattered 4 corners of the earth, but as a huge bulk to fit the prophecy, they are in America, right? It says, verse 10, for the stars of heaven and the constellation thereof shall not give their light, The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogance of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedges of Sophar. Right? That's really going into the elect men. Right? They're going to be more precious than gold. Like, the Spirit is going to be hitting a lot of women because they're going to be attracted to these men. And some of these women is going to be looking butt freaking ugly, you know? And your household, you feel like, and when this time comes, your household is going to even look at you different, brother. You know? That's when, like, a man is going to get back into his role. This is the protector, you know? People go, your wife, your children gonna be around like the Lord about to send you a message like which way we should go. But the Lord, with Joel 2:28, the Spirit is hitting a lot of people in these days. Women is having dreams or visions, and they talking about it, and then brothers is coming across these videos, and they making lessons off of it. Children about to be prophesying, but in that day, the Lord is gonna be pouring His Spirit out. But those righteous men is gonna be few real men. And a real man is a man of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Now verse 13, it says, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place, in the wrath of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as the sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land. People are going to be afraid, because after the Egyptian against the Egyptian, which goes into that World War III, right? World War III stems of Russia and the nations, their allies, which we could say is BRIC, and America, which they might assume that their allies, which is NATO and EU, might be going to war with these other nations, but America allies is going to turn on them. They're going to, all the nations outside of their allies and American allies are going to be mad at them. Jeremiah 51 verse 7, and they're going to turn and they're going to send their nukes to this place and destroy it. But that's going to be the Spirit of the Lord. The Lord is going to pour out His Spirit, because all these things is going to bring back the fame of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and all people going to know that that was the Lord that did it. Even you 2/3, y'all going to be so shameful that you wasn't listening, and your ass was physically locked and in tune in this world, but didn't want to be locked up in tune in hearing the understanding of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Y'all too fucking comfortable, you know? Too comfortable. And I know half the stuff that I might say, some people might talk about this one thing and might not even listen. But it's going to be some sisters and some brothers that's going to be listening. Like, this place has to go. In order to have your kingdom, this place has to fall. This is the biggest prophecy point, America. When they usher this MOTB 4 corners of the earth, you got to know America is up next to fall. This place is going to fall, man. You know? You should be desiring that, because that's when you know your kingdom is coming, man. That's when you know your king is coming. Yahweh Shai is on his way. Book it, mark it, date it, whatever you got to do. So all praise to the one true power, Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rakakwadash. Lord willing, somehow, some way, this was edifying to you, and you found something that you can hold on to and grow in faith, right? And double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. Lord, willing, that they can continue to endure and be sincere for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai and the hope for elect. And the mighty shalom to the hope for elect that are scattered 4 corners of the earth, teaching His word and believing in His word. Lord, willing, that you continue to endure and be sincere in the same Spirit. And shalom to the Akwat Yum that are believers of the faith in His truth. Lord, willing, that you could continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the Most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in faith. And with that, shalom, shalom.